Hello, welcome to day 3 of 100 days of grammar with Mariia. Today we are going to work with questions. So we continue and work with questions. Today we are going to work with 3 different kinds of questions. 2 more kinds of questions we are going to work with a little bit later in other videos. But I want to start with this quote today. You are not too cool for school. I like this quote. I think it inspires us to be better every day. You remember we have to ask questions. So I want to ask you to make a question to this sentence. In that case, we have to remember, how do we ask questions? So what is the step 1? What do we need to do to ask the question? We need to find an auxiliary verb, right? Verb which helps you to do that, okay? An auxiliary verb in this sentence. Quick repetition. If you see the forms of these verbs, you use them. Do you see any of these forms in the sentence over there? Any of the forms? B, think what forms this verb has. Have, be, am, is, are, was, were. Have, has, had. Shall, should, will, would. Can, could, may, might. Any of these forms? Tell me. B, you're right. This is the form of be. So we can use it. You're right. So you are not too cool for school. We have found this is the word we need. We're going to use it. How do we ask question now? What do we need to do to ask a question? So we've identified this is the auxiliary verb. We use it. What do we do? Tell us. This. Yes, you're right. So we have to move the word to the very beginning. So the question is, read the question. Read it.
Are you not too cool for school?
Yes. And then we have to add 2 more words. Are you not too cool for school? Yes. What should I say after? Yes.
I am.
I am, or yes, you are. It depends who asks the question. Yes, you're right. Or no. No. Say it. I'm not. Or no, you are not. So what we need to remember, when we say no, we have to repeat it again and say not as well. Are called general questions, we call them, because they are asked to the whole sentence. And you can answer with 1 word, give this short answer. Of course, you can give a long answer as well, but you can say sometimes just yes, and we understand you. Yes, you are, or yes, I am. When you ask questions, you have to always follow the same order of words. So sometimes the words in the sentence are not put in the same order as we have here. But when you ask questions, you have to make sure you follow this order. So when you ask these questions, you give a short answer, and you see these answers over there. Yes or no. But I have written to other types of questions. Alternative questions, special questions. What is it? Alternative question is, in fact, the same general question, but you give an alternative. Here I have a few sentences I've prepared. So we can work with the sentence, and then we make an alternative question. But don't forget, you're going to help me to identify the auxiliary verb, and you'll help me to make this question. We study hard every day. What is step number 1? Auxiliary verb, you're right. You can say it louder. So we have to identify the auxiliary verb. Step number 1, we look for forms of these verbs. Do we have any of these forms in this sentence? We study hard every day. Any forms of Am, is, are, was, were, have, has, shall, should, will, would. Any of these words? No. Here we have no word. Remember? No word. Use do, does, did. So we have only these three options left. Do, does, or did. We study hard every day. We have to pay attention to the verb. It reveals you the form it means. Do we have any ending S here? No. No, does is needed. Do we have ed here? No. So what is left? No S, no ed. Do is left. You're right. Now we know. This is the auxiliary verb. So it doesn't matter what kind of question we are going to make. We're going to use the same auxiliary verb. So let's see. Alternative. So we start again with auxiliary verb. We have this do. Do. The subject. You have noticed I have S over here. One line. The subject and the predicate. Do we study? Do we study hard every day or once a week? We have added the alternative, but the question is like a general question. Very simple. And then the answer, of course, will be one of these alternatives because this is what you are looking for. This answer, this or that. We have an alternative question. We have made a general question. We have only one left. What is it with this special? And there's a special, something special. It can be the question to the whole sentence, only some part, special part in this sentence. That's why I've written this word special questions, especially for one word or one sentence, one phrase. Now you have to help me again to find the auxiliary verb. My neighbor collects coins. We have to pay attention to the verb. Yeah, we have this verb. If you see this ending, what is the auxiliary verb? Tell me.
Does.
Yep, you're right. We have does. But do you remember what happens to this S? Tell me. Yes, it disappears. You're right. So don't forget that when we are going to make this question. Is it enough only to find the auxiliary verb and ask a question? But we do not know to what part, to this special part, we have to ask a question to. So in that case, we have to use some other words. And these words are called question words. To make questions, we need to use one of these question words to make this special question. So these question words are given here. When, where, why, simple question words. How often, how far, at what time. So there are many question words, but these are the most common that we use. We have this sentence, my neighbor collects coins. We have this word. We can ask the question when the answer will be this word, coins. What kind of word do we need to use? What word do we need to use? What? You're right. So I can write here, what, for myself. So if I say, what? The answer will be coins. If you have a longer sentence, we can ask other questions, other kinds of special questions to the same sentence, but we are going to use the same auxiliary verb. So here we have what. What do we do? Look, we have the auxiliary verb, but in this kind of questions, we have to start always with this question word. So I write it here. What? What do I need to fill in this box? So here we have what. What is the auxiliary verb? What is the auxiliary verb? Does. Then we have the subject. Where is the subject? The subject is the word that is almost always before the predicate, before this verb. So we have my neighbor. What does my neighbor what do we have left? Collect, very good, without S. And the question mark. What does my neighbor collect? And the answer is coins. So we cannot use the same word right now because we have used the question word. And the answer is coins. So don't make that mistake. What does my neighbor collect? Coins. It's stupid to say that because you asked what? You cannot say coins because you reveal the answer. The answer will be at the end. You answer with this question with this word. Don't forget how you ask questions and how you answer. If these are general questions, in general, auxiliary verb, subject, predicate, and you use all the words from the sentence. You have the short answer, yes, no. If you say no, you have to repeat not. Alternative questions, almost the same as general questions, but you add some more alternatives. So you can make a choice. And then you have special questions. Special questions, especially to some part of this sentence. In that case, you use some of the question words. You start with that, but never forget auxiliary verb because you have to use it as well. And then you move on with asking the question, but you do not give the answer. Thank you. That was all. Goodbye.